So good evening, everybody. Thank you for joining the class. Today
Thank you so much, sir.
we are going to discuss a new chapter, and the name of the chapter is Product Design and Process Selection. The operations manager, although there is a separate department, research and development department, product design department is a separate department. But if the R&D, research and development wing, and the product design wing designs a product that cannot be manufactured in your company or in their company, is the design fruitful, or will the design be fruitful for the company? Say, for example, the R&D wing of a company has identified that medical shirt, as I have given the example, you may know. Electronic shirt or medical shirt has been designed by the design department or R&D wing of the company. But if the production department says that they have no such technology to manufacture the product, the product design will not be fruitful and the product will not see its life. That's why working together, production department and the design department will work together. And based on the product design, the operations manager will choose the process. So today we will discuss about the product design and process selection. And we will also discuss about the operations analytics, or usually the analytics related with product design and the analytics that is related with process selection we will discuss today. So when you design a product, you have to take care of the product appearance. What type of materials you are going to use to produce that product? What will be the dimensions of the product? Whether a small, medium, a square shape, round shape, cube shape is appropriate. Tolerances means that you are thinking that the product will perform as per the standard. But what will be the deviations? 5% deviated from the standard or 10%. This is known as the tolerances. And performance standard. There must a performance standard. If you buy a pen, the pen must write something, or the pen can be used for writing. So there will have a performance standard. Even if you are buying a comb, say for an example, this should have a performance standard. So these are ultimately the characteristics of any product that you have to consider while you are designing the product. Product design is the process of defining all the company's product characteristics. Product design must support product manufacturability. This is very important. If you design a product, this must be capable to manufacture in your company. That is known as the having manufacturability, or the ease with which a product can be made. So if the product is not manufacturable, the design is imperfect. Product design defines a product's characteristics of appearance, materials, dimensions, tolerances, performance standards. And process design will be based on the product or product design. Process selection will be based on the product design, the development of the process necessary to produce the design product. And there are the major classes of process may be continuous process and intermittent process. So whether you will use tailored processing or continuous processing, your operations manager will decide, and the operations manager will decide based on the product design. And as a member of the top management committee, the operations manager will must have say to design the product. And designing of service. Designing service design is unique in that case, in that sense that the service and entire service concept are being designed, must define both the service and concept. That means when you are providing a service, there are some added facilities. When you are designing the service, you have to take care of the physical elements. What are the physical elements you are offering with the service, or how this service will be delivered? Say, for example, Microsoft, when they design the Microsoft product, they must think about the other concepts, whether it is compatible with the MacBook or iMac, whether it is compatible with the IBM computers. And aesthetics is also very important. When you will open the window, you will find there are several aesthetics. It is looking good or bad. And psychological benefits. And when you are using a product, there are some psychological benefits. What are the psychological benefits? Say, for example, when you open the phone, sometimes you find that the phone is very good. Sometimes you find that the phone is not good. Although you will use the same services, you will do the same services by using the phone. So there are psychological benefits. Say, for example, those who are using MacBook or, say, for example, iPhone. And in Bangladeshi environment, there are some psychological benefits of using iPhone and its components. Because people think that there is some status quo. Status quo means that you are feeling better using iPhone. That is. So when you are using services, its physical elements, aesthetics, and psychological benefits you have to take care. Proneness to use, friendliness of the services, and ambience, or your feeling. Product and service design must match the needs and preference of the targeted customer group. And when you will design the service, you must think about the customer, what the customers are demanding. That is important. So, product design and service design, although the nature of the elements are different, but both are important. When you will design the product, when you will design the services, you must have to take care of these issues. There are 4 steps in designing product or service. And one more important thing is that product and service is different in that sense that the product, usually we indicate that product is the market offering. It may be tangible or it may be intangible. If it is tangible, it is known as the goods. If it is not tangible, it is known as the services. So when you are designing the product, you have to follow several steps. These are the universal product development steps. And today we will also discuss about the universal impacts, say, for example, life cycle assessment of the product. When you are designing the product, you have to think about the life cycle. Life cycle means even if after using the product, What will be the impact of the substances on the environment? You have to think before producing the product. Environmental impact, remanufacturing. Sometimes we use used product to develop new products. Remanufacturing, remanufacturability. We think about the environment, we think about the global impact. It is known as the life cycle assessment of the product. So idea developments. First, you have to develop the idea. Someone thinks of a need, a product or service to satisfy it. Customers, marketing, engineering, competitors, benchmarking, reverse engineering, remanufacturing, concurrent engineering. So that means when you develop the idea, you have to think about the consumers who will use the product. Is there any users in this world, or you have to think about the other worlds? Other worlds means maybe those who are living outside of the world. That means space stations. So customers are important. Are you going to produce any product that have customers? Can you sell your product? Marketing means selling the product in our common sense. Although there are many other components, for example, product, process, price, place, etc. You have to think about the marketing, whether you can sell your product or not. Engineering means that whether the product is manufacturable, or in other words, that we have said is manufacturability. Manufacturability means the ease with which a product can be made. That means you have to manufacture the product easily. Toyota is a car manufacturing company, and the car manufacturing is so easy. If you go to Toyota, I have visited Toyota twice, and I found that the car manufacturing is very easy because there is no human touch. 100% automatic robotic operations are there. Only the materials you are putting and it is becoming car. Materials also, 70% of the materials are not manufactured by Toyota. So engineering and manufacturing means that you are producing the product easily. And you have to think about the competitors. And when you are thinking about the competitors, you have to think about the product life cycle. Product life cycle. Is there any? Yes, here. Life cycle. Are you producing a product that is at its maturity level? So you have to produce some product. You have to develop the idea that is at its inception level. You should not choose any idea that is already capturing the whole market, and there is a possibility that the product may have some alternatives and the people will not buy your product and it is going to decline. So you have to think about the product life cycle, and either you will start manufacturing a new product or you will choose a product that is very growing. So the competitor analysis is very important. When you are developing your idea, you have to think about the competitors. You can benchmark. Benchmark means that you will manufacturing a product. That is manufactured by other companies and there is a demand of that product. So you will follow the another company. That is benchmarking. And then the idea may come from reverse engineering. Reverse engineering means maybe you are manufacturing the product is engineering. And reverse manufacturing, you will buy an existing product from the market and then you will open it up. What are the components? Then you will learn by opening or by breaking down a new product. It is known as reverse engineering. So, through reverse engineering, you can also develop a new idea. You may think of remanufacturing. Say, for example, in this season, you will find the advertisement that many companies are offering replacement of their air conditioners or refrigerators. That means if you give the old refrigerator back, they will give you a new one with some additional money. So why they are taking the product back? Because there are several components in the product that can be used to manufacture a new similar type of product. It is known as remanufacturing. It is known as remanufacturing and concurrent engineering. Concurrent engineering means that you alone, the design department, will not decide what will be the product design. Rather, what you will do, you will work in a team, all the managers, operations managers, marketing managers, product managers, accounts managers will sit together and then you will decide which product you are going to produce. You will develop an idea. Maybe operations manager will give the company idea that is very expensive. Maybe the finance manager will say that, oh, no, 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 we don't have sufficient amount of money. The marketing manager may say that, no, this product is already available in other companies. So when you are working in a team and you are designing a product, developing the idea, this is known as concurrent engineering. So you have to develop the idea first. You have to develop the idea first. The idea may come from customers, may come from marketing team, may come from the engineering team, may come from the competitors, may come from the benchmarking, may come from the reverse engineering, may come from the remanufacturing concept, and may come from the concrete engineering process or team environment, team discussion. And after developing the idea, all idea will not be good. You will have 10 idea. Out of the 10, what you have to do, you have to choose one or two idea that is best among all the options. Or you have to choose only one that is the best among all the other available options. That is product screening. Every business needs a formal structured evaluation process. Fit with facility and labor skills, size of market, contribution margin, break-even analysis, return on sales. These are the factors you can use to screen the idea. So if you have production facility, if your labor has required skills, if the market is very big, if the contribution margin is positive, if you can earn break-even easily, and the return on your investment, return on your sales is better, you will choose that idea. So product screening, one of the common components of product screening is break-even analysis. We'll focus on break-even analysis, and you may know break-even analysis better because these are the components of the managerial accounting course, and their details break-even analysis is taught to you. Just will give an overview of break-even analysis to screen the idea. That means the option that will bring BP, break-even point, earlier we will choose that option, product screening. And then after screening, after choosing the best option, you will design and test. Design and test means that you will send it to the design department. Technical specifications are developed, prototype built, and testing starts. Prototype builds means some products are produced to check whether the product is good or bad. And how you will check whether the product is good or bad? You will send it to the testing centers. And in many big, almost all big companies have their own testing centers. They test their preliminary design in their testing centers. And I have visited maybe many garments companies, and all they have their own testing centers. After dealing with the buyer, they design the product, and after designing the product, they test the product. If all the criteria of testing met, then they send it to the buyer, that along with the test reports. And after testing, if all the criteria characterization is all right, then the company goes for final design. Final design based on the test results. Facility, equipment, materials, labor skills defined, suppliers identified. So final design, when they choose the final design, these are all practical in garments companies in Bangladesh. So they check the labor skills, they check the materials availability, they check the suppliers of the raw materials, whether the facility is sufficient or not, they check everything. And also test results must be. Finally, they choose the final design, and in garment sector, you know that they, after getting the final approval from the buyers, they send it for bulk production or commercialization, bulk production or commercialization. And when you are developing the design, the idea may come from the customers, competitors, suppliers, research and development wing. Reverse engineering may be one of the sources, as I have already told you. Buying a competitor's product, the knowledge gained during reverse engineering, that means open up, can help with repurposing obsolete objects and doing security analysis and learning how something works. Reverse engineering can help you to offer a new innovative product. That means you will open up and learn something, and you may delete the obsolete objects, and you can add new features to the product. You can do your own security analysis, and then after gaining knowledge from this reverse engineering, you can develop a innovative product idea. And when idea development selection affects product quality, this is very important. These are the very fundamental issues: product quality, the cost, customer satisfaction, and overall manufacturability. That means whether you can manufacture the product in your factory or not. Manufacturability, the ease with which the product can be produced. And when you are the second step, when you are screening the product idea, you can use the break-even analysis. Break-even analysis computes the quality of goods quantity. Compute the quantity of goods company needs to sell to cover its cost. And how break-even point works: quantity, at which quantity, break-even quantity, at which quantity there will be no profit, no loss. That means you will be in break-even. So the definition of break-even is that the quantity you are produced in your factory that will bring a point, that will bring your company in a point where the company will not incur any losses nor will earn any profit. That is known as the break-even quantity. Break-even quantity. And to calculate the break-even quantity, what you have to do, you have to find out the fixed cost. And then you have to find out the prospective selling price of the product. And you have to calculate the related variable cost. So if you can identify the variable cost, prospective selling price, and the fixed cost, you can easily identify what will be your break-even quantity. Here, break-even analysis also includes calculating total cost. Total cost you are getting when you can identify the selling price, variable cost plus fixed cost is total cost. So total cost equals fixed cost plus variable cost. Variable cost, this is variable cost per unit. When we multiply by the Q, then total variable cost. So total cost, fixed cost plus variable cost. And revenue minus amount of money brought in from sales. And what is revenue? Revenue is defined as the sales price multiplied by the quantity, the total amount of revenue. And Q is number of units sold. So when you are showing your break-even in a graph, it will be look like this one. Your sales will begin here. Your fixed cost is always fixed, and your total cost will begin from fixed cost plus variable cost. When you are not producing any quantity, your variable cost is zero. So only fixed cost. When you are producing units, then your total cost, fixed cost plus variable cost, fixed cost plus variable cost, fixed cost plus variable cost is increasing. And total revenue will begin from zero. Because if you sell one unit, then your revenue will increase by this amount. So for example, this is one quantity. 2, 3, when you are increasing your sales, your revenue is increasing, total revenue. And when the total cost, variable cost and fixed cost, and total revenue will be equal, this quantity will be your break-even quantity. The quantity at which is your total revenue and total cost is same, is known as the break-even point, BEP, or break-even quantity. Compute quantity of goods that must be sold to break even. Compute total revenue at an assumed selling price. Compute fixed cost and variable cost for several quantities. Plot the total revenue line and the total cost line. Intersection is break even. The total revenue line and total cost line intersects here. So it is the break-even point. Sensitivity analysis can be done to examine changes in all of the assumptions made. You can analyze sensitivity when price increases, when fixed cost decreases. So this is known as the sensitivity analysis. You have to do some sensitivity analysis. Maybe this example will make you clear how you will calculate the break-even point to explain the idea. A company is planning to establish a chain of movie theaters. It estimates that its new theater will cost approximately 1 million. The theaters will hold 500 people and will have 4 showings each day, with average ticket price at $8. They estimate that additional revenue will be 2 per patron on average. The total variable cost in labor and materials are estimated $6 per patron. They will be open 300 days each year. What must average occupancy to be break-even? So you have to calculate the number of patrons. Patrons means those who will go to the theater. So here, to calculate the break-even point, you need 3 most important information. 1, selling price. 2, fixed cost. And 3 is variable cost. So here, what is the fixed cost? It estimates that each new theater will cost approximately 1 million. 1 million means that 1 million will be your fixed cost for one theater. Are you getting? Are you with me or sleeping? Hello, Miss Mo.
Sarathi, sir.
Yes, sir.
Mo, are you here? MOW, Mo.
Yes, sir.
So, what are the information we need to calculate the break-even? What are the information do you need to calculate the break-even? Who can tell me? Can anybody tell me? To calculate the break-even, what are the information do you need? To calculate the break-even, so be attentive here in the classroom. We will maybe we will check your class participation, and this will be recorded. Recorded means that this your performance. This will be recorded for performance evaluation. All right. Today we are dealing with product design. When you will design the product, you must think about several features of the product. Its quality, its cost, its dimensions, its appearance, its manufacturability. And when you are designing a product, you can follow several steps. So for example, idea generation, idea screening, preliminary testing and design, final design. When you are screening the ideas, you can use break-even analysis. Or before screening the idea, you can develop the new product idea. What are the sources of new product development idea? These sources includes number 1. Sources are coming from the customers, customer survey, market survey. These sources are coming from re-engineering. These sources are coming from the other companies, benchmarking. These sources are coming from the team meeting, concurrent engineering or team meeting. After getting several ideas, you cannot produce every product. What you have to do, you have to choose one of them. You have to choose one of them. And one of them can be chosen using break-even analysis. Break-even analysis. And how break-even analysis works? When you are calculating break-even, you have to have several idea about the information about the product. Its fixed cost, its selling price, and its variable cost. So you will divide fixed cost by the sales minus variable cost. This is also known as the contribution margin. Sales price minus variable cost is contribution margin. So if you divide fixed cost by its contribution margin, you will get the break-even quantity. Or you can get the break-even. So for the moment, you need three information. One is sales price, and there is variable cost, and there is fixed cost. So go to here. In our example, what is fixed cost? You need fixed cost first. It estimates that each new theater will cost approximately 1 million. This is your fixed cost. The theaters will hold 500 people. That means the capacity. Theater capacity is 500. And we'll have 4 showings each day. If 4 showings each day and theater will hold 500, capacity 500 multiplied by 4, 2000. Per day, your total number of customers will be 400. And with average ticket price $8, that means your sales price. So you have got here your fixed cost 1 million and your ticket price is $8 is your sales price. They estimate that additional revenue sales price or ticket price is 8, but when they will come to your theater, they will also buy coffee, say for example. They estimate that additional revenue, that means selling coffee or some other ancillary products, you will also earn $2 more on average from the customers. So per unit, sales revenue will be 10 plus 8, 8 plus 2, 10. The variable cost, now your sales price is clear, $10. Your fixed cost is 1 million. The variable cost, labor and materials are major variable cost, are estimated to be 6 per patron. That means sales price 10 and your variable cost is $6. They would be open 300 days each year. What must average occupancy to break even? Now you calculate the break-even quantity or break-even number of customers. How you will calculate the break-even number of customers? Your 1 million. Your 1 million. So use your calculator. Fixed cost divided by sales minus variable cost. Sales is $10. 10, this is 1 million. Divided by 10 plus 8 plus 2 equals 10 is your sales price minus variable cost. Minus variable cost is $6. So what will be your break-even number of customers? What will be your break-even? 250,000 is your good. So 250,000, that means 1 million divided by 4 equals 250,000. So at least you have to sell 250,000 tickets to break even. Now the question is, what must average occupancy be to break even? Average occupancy rate. What is the total occupancy? total occupancy is 500 tickets, 4 showings. So per day is 2000. Is it? And how many days the theater will open? 300 days. So 500 first, 500 multiplied by 4 showings multiplied by 300 days. It is your total number of tickets. This is your total number of tickets, and your one is 250, isn't it? 250,000, is it? 250,000 divided by total. That means 250,000 divided by 500 times 4, 500, 300. What will be the occupancy rate? What will be the occupancy rate?
5 lakh, sir.
Sorry? 250 divided by 600,000. 6 lakh. Is it?
6 lakh, sir. 6 lakh.
So 250 divided by 600,000 is? Because your break-even customers is 250. Break-even seats. You have to sell this amount of ticket to break even. And your total available tickets. 500 seat, 4 showings, and 300 days. So total number of tickets is this one, and you have to sell 250,000. So what percentage of the total seats you have to sell? 250,000 divided by total available tickets is what percentage?
Sir, 0.42.
42. Is it?
Yes, sir.
So 42%. It is your occupancy rate must be 40%, 42% to break even. So on average,
Sir, I didn't get the sir, I didn't get the 250,000 divided by 6 lakh things.
so
It was cut.
how have we get to 50,000? We have get to 50,000 by dividing fixed cost. This is our total fixed cost is, it is a fixed cost. Fixed cost is 1 million. To establish a theater, the company will require 1 million. 1 million is your fixed cost. And you will divide 1 million by contribution margin. Contribution margin means sales price minus variable cost. Here, your sales price is $8 plus you will sell coffee. That means additional revenue. Additional revenue in theater is coming from selling coffee, selling tea, selling chips, selling biscuits, using photo booth. All right. So $2, additional $2 you're getting. So total sales price per ticket will be, or revenue from every client will be 8 plus 2, 10. 10 minus your variable cost. Your variable cost is $6. The variable cost in labor and materials are estimated to be 6 per patron. 6 per patron. So 6 sales price, sales revenue minus variable cost equals contribution margin. Contribution margin is 4, isn't it? 4. So 1 million divided by 4 equals to 50,000. 1 million divided by 4 equals to 50,000. Now the question is, 250,000 tickets you have to sell during whole year, because 300 days the theater will open. Whole year. But on average, every day, what percentage must be fill up? How many tickets you must sell on average per day? So here total, and you will divide by the available tickets. You have to sell 250,000 tickets, and the available tickets are your per showing. is 500. Per day is 4 showings. 500 multiplied by 4. And your theater will open for 300 days. So 500 times 4 times 300 equals something. What was the value of 5? 600. 600,000, isn't it? 600,000. So 250,000 divided by 600,000 equals 0.42 or 42%. So to break even, your company must occupy 42% seats. Have you got the idea? Here, break-even point. We have finished up to this point. 250,000 or 42% occupancy. Have you got it? How we got it?
Yes, sir.
Or you can use a equation. Here they have used different equation. Total revenue equals total cost, and total revenue equals fixed cost plus variable cost, and your total revenue will be 8 plus 2 10 multiplied by the quantity, and your fixed cost is 1 million plus variable cost is 6 multiplied by quantity, and solving for quantity is 250,000. But we have used contribution margin format. We have used this equation. This equation. There are two ways of calculating break-even point. You can use this equation, total cost equation, or you can use fixed cost divided by sales price minus variable cost, contribution margin. Here they have used the total cost formula. Total cost equals fixed cost plus variable cost. Sorry, total revenue will be equal to total cost. Total revenue will be equal to total cost. And it is the amount of revenue. Sales price is $8 ticket price, additional revenue $2, $10 times quantity. And same thing, 10 minus 6. 1 million divided by 10 minus 6, 4 equals 250,000 or 42% occupancy rate. Have you got it?
Sir, I have a confusion about gross profit thing. The 3 lakh tickets. I'm getting
Next one,
lost
this
in
one.
this
This is additional. This is another question. Now the company is calculating sensitivity. Maybe you can you join late. Sensitivity analysis. Now, if the company thinks that it wants to earn some profit, here what is the gross profit if they sell 300 tickets? So if it is their break-even tickets, 250,000 is the break-even tickets. But when the company, if the company can sell 300 tickets, what will be the profit? So profit will be revenue minus cost. Revenue $10 times 300 tickets, 300,000 tickets per dollar revenue, total revenue, minus total cost. Fixed cost is 1 million and variable cost 300,000 times 6 per unit. So the company's profit will be 200,000. So it is sensitivity analysis. That means if they can sell 300 tickets, what will be the profit of the company? In that case, the company's profit will be 200,000. 200,000. So this is how you can check the company's design, screen the idea, one of the tools. So when you are comparing, we have given you the foundations. In real world, what you have to do, you have to first identify the sales price of all the alternatives, variable cost of all the alternatives, fixed cost of all the alternatives, and then you will calculate the break-even point. Which one will bring break-even easily? That you will choose for your production operations. So this is the foundations, how to calculate break-even point. You will apply this foundation to screen the product design. Which design you are going to produce in your factory in bulk. Mr. Hasib, are with me? Hasibul Hassan, Mr. Fahim.
Yes, sir.
So have you got it?
Yes.
Okay. Then, if additional revenue only average 0.5 per patron, what is the break-even Q now? It is also another sensitivity analysis. Now, if additional revenue is 0.5 per patron, can you calculate? In our case, 8 plus 2 was the additional. Now, they are thinking that the additional revenue will be $0.5 rather than $2. What break-even quantity will be now? So please, someone calculate it. Maybe Anika can calculate. Anika, are you here? Can you calculate the break-even quantity when the sales price will be 10 plus 0.5, 10 and a half? What will be the break-even quantity? Mr. Munga said, can you try the same thing you will apply here? Ticket price plus additional revenue 0.5. What will be the number of break-even patrons? Are you here? Are you here?
Sir,
Mr. Taswar, can you calculate?
sir, I can't hear properly. I'm traveling.
So if you travel, you cannot do. Sirajum Munira. Mr. Munkasir.
Yes,
Uchchash.
sir. Yes, sir. Yes,
So
sir.
can you calculate?
আসসালামু স্যার।
So can you calculate? Can you
স্যার আমার কথা
calculate?
শোনা যায়?
Yes, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
স্যার
Can
I
hear you.
can hear you. সরি স্যার, আমার যে লাস্ট উইকে আমার ওয়াইফাই লাইন আগুন লেগে গিয়েছিল, তো যার কারণে লাইনটা হচ্ছে একটু ডিস্টার্ব করতেছে। আমার কথা কি শোনা যাচ্ছে
হ্যাঁ, আমি শুনতে পাচ্ছি।
ঠিক মতো? আপনার কথাগুলো একটু কেটে যাচ্ছে স্যার।
আমার কথা কেটে আপনার কাছে গেলে হবে না।
হ্যালো
অন্য সবাই কি অবস্থা? অন্য সবাই
হ্যালো
বুঝতে চায় না। Can you hear me?
I can hear you, sir.
So
হ্যালো
in my end, there is no problem. My internet is very stable internet.
Yes sir, I can hear you sir now.
So if there is a problem, that will be at your end. Because usually I conduct online classes from this room. That's why I made a stable internet connection. So can you calculate? Can you calculate?
The 0.50 divided by 2 lakhs, sir.
1 million divided by 8.5
Sir,
minus
22
6. 20.
স্যার 22 এরকম আসে আমারটা
22 মতো আসে স্যার আমার।
But it is 400,000 patrons. 8.5. 1 million divided by 8.5 minus 6 equals 400,000. 1 million divided by 8.5 minus 6. That
স্যার
means
8.50 এটা কোত্থেকে আসছে
2.50. 8.5. How you get 8.5? The issue is that, go back
4
to
lakhs.
our problem. Our average ticket price is 8 and additional revenue is 2. All right. 8 plus 2 is our per unit revenue. But now the company assumed that average additional revenue will be 0.50 rather than $2. That's why 8 plus 2 here, 8 plus 0.5, 8.5. Is it clear?
জি স্যার
So that's the 8.5. So 1 million divided by 8.5 minus 6 equals
4 lakh.
400,000. Good, 4 lakh. And 4 lakh
4
divided
লাখ
by
স্যার,
how?
4 লাখ আসছে।
So how to get 67%? 4 lakh divided by 500 seats, 4 showings, 300 days. 500 times 4 times 300 equals 20. 5 times 4 equals 20 times 3, 60. So 600,000. So when you will divide 400,000 divided by 600,000, you will get the occupancy percentage. You will get what? Oh, sorry. 400 divided by 600,000. 600,000.
0.67.
It is 76 per 67%. Isn't it? Have you got it?
Yes, sir.
How we get
6.67.
7%? So you have to check the break-even point to choose the idea, to choose the new product idea. And after that, after choosing the idea, you will also think about the design for manufacturing, DFM. How you will design your system to manufacture your product. Your operations manager's job, main job will begin from here. You have to develop the system that will help manufacture the product easily. So you have to think about the design for manufacturing, guidelines to produce a product easily and profitably, Simplification minimizes parts. Standardization design parts for multiply applications. Use modular design. Simplify operations. This is your job. That means you are applying the operation strategy. The operation strategy includes design for manufacturing, the standardization process, simplification of the production system, modular design. Modular design, that means this is one module, that is another module, that is another module. That means the manufacturing, say for example, in garments manufacturing, one is cutting module, another is sewing module, another is finishing module. So you have to design these three components in an efficient way to manufacture the product. It is known as the modular design. And simplify operations. So after getting the idea, you will simplify the operations, and we have already explained that to generate the idea, you have to think about the product life cycle. Product life cycle, series of changing product demand. So your demand is increasing, and at the inception of the product, the demand is low, and then grow. After growing the demand, it stands at maturity, and after maturity, that means you, the consumers, do not like the product, and then it will decline. You will not choose any item, you will not choose any design that is at its peak, that means at its maturity level. You will choose any product at introduction stage, that means your innovation, or if you benchmark, you will benchmark any product that is at its growing stage. Do not choose any design that is matured or that is declining. So these are the factors you have to consider. You have to consider about the life cycle assessment, cradle to grave assessment. That means from childhood to death, and even after death. What will happen? Say for example, Muslims, also Hindus, think that there is a life after the death. That means there are two parts of life. One is before death and another is after death. So we think about the product life cycle also. Product life cycle means that the product will not be harmful for the environment during its uses in this world, and after using the product, the product will be environmentally friendly. Say for example, this dress are manufactured from what? Natural fiber and synthetic fiber. Synthetic fiber is plastic, man-made, and it is not compatible, it is not biodegradable. Biodegradable means that it is not environmentally friendly. That's why when now the many buyers, especially German buyers in our textile industry, garments industry, are talking about the taking back the used garments in Bangladesh. That means garments will sell to international buyers. International users will use the garments. When they will declare that it is unusable, then they will not throw it to dustbin. They will submit the used dress to the retailers. The retailers will give the used clothing in our country or to Bangladesh, return to Bangladesh. That means as it is not environmentally friendly, they are not interested to dispose the synthetic item in their country, and German has already started the system. So are you getting? Even if you are producing the product, is the product biodegradable? Is the product environmentally friendly after use? You have to think about it. This is known as LCA and also known as cradle to grave. And when you are producing cradle, that means your baby. When you are producing the product, is it polluting water? Is it polluting air? Is it emitting carbon dioxide? You have to think during the production process, even after using the product, whether the product is biodegradable or not. Polythene ban. Why polythene is banning in our country? Because it is not environmentally friendly. After use, you are throwing out to the drains. Drains are clogged. Not only clogged, the system is collapsing. So the assessment of the environmental impact of a product or service throughout its useful life focuses on such factors as global warming, smoke formation, oxygen depletion, solid waste generation. LCA procedures are part of the ISO 14000 environmental management procedures. So you have to think about the environment while you are producing the product. And concurrent engineering. What is concurrent engineering? In old time, there is sequential design. The product concept is coming from the customers. It is going to the marketing department. After marketing department, it is going to the design department, design engineer. From the design engineer, it is going to the manufacturer. Manufacturer is producing the product. So there are some walls. They do not work in a team. They are working in isolate platform. In concurrent design, all the production manager, marketing manager, customers, design engineer, all are working together and they are designing a product in a team environment. This is known as concurrent engineering. All over-the-wall sequential design process should not be used. Each function did its work and passed it to the next function. Here, it is the over-the-wall system. Replace with a concurrent engineering process. All functions form a design team that develops specifications, involves customers early, solves potential problems, reduces cost, and shortens time to market. So when you are designing your product, you have to work in a concurrent engineering team or team environment, design team. And remanufacturing uses components of old products in the product of new ones and has environmental benefits, cost benefits. Computers, televisions, automobiles, AC, refrigerators that I was talking. You are giving your used refrigerators back to Walton and Walton is giving you a new one. What the Walton is doing by using the used refrigerator? They are using the components. They are using the components of old products in the production of new ones. It is known as remanufacturing. It is remanufacturing. It is environmentally friendly. So the initiative is good. And when you are producing the product, you have to develop a standard operating procedures, or usually we say it is SOP. SOP, standard operating procedure. If you have standard operating procedure, your cost will be minimum. You can produce more. Say for example, when Toyota designs a new automobile, they do not produce one piece. What they do? They produce 100 million pieces, 1 billion pieces together. This is known as standardization. This is known as standardization. Producing same product using a standard operating procedure. And when you can bring standardization in production, your cost will be minimum. And the automobiles cost is too high here in Bangladesh. It is not so expensive in India. If you go to India, you can buy a car at $100. 100,000 taka. And in Japan, the reconditioned car we are using here, on average, the price is 100,000 taka only, 1 lakh taka. And some of my friends, I am also delivering lecture at BUP. One of my colleagues there was talking last week that he bought a car in Japan in only 30,000 taka. Can you imagine? And during his PhD period, he used that car. And when he came back, he gave it as a gift to someone else. So standard operating procedures ultimately help to reduce the cost of manufacturing. So 30,000, only 30,000 taka, you can buy a reconditioned car there. But here there are a lot of problems. Problem is that the Barbida or those who buy the used cars from Japan, reconditioned car, there are a lot of conditions they impose, and then government impose more conditions. And when the product came to our market, government expenditure is maybe 200 times, 300 times. So if you buy a car in Japan 100, the travel cost will be more 200, total 300, and 300 plus 200% tax is more 600. More 600 means 900,000. 900,000 plus profit of the owner is 100,000. So the car that is sold there in Japan as 100,000 is selling here in Dhaka around 1,500,000. That's why the car is expensive here, and government is also imposing a higher tax. Why? Because we don't have roads. We don't have roads. Dhaka city is occupied with homes and people. There is no roads, only 2 or 3 roads. And the standard roads will be 25% of the city, but the 25%, only 5% roads are available in Dhaka. That's why huge traffic jam. That's why government is also controlling and giving controlling tariff. So what we am talking in designing process, as a operations manager, you will design a product that will have standardization, extent to which there is an absence of variety in a product. That means similar product you are producing. Products are made in large quantities of identical items, same item, large quantities. Every customer item process receives essentially the same service, and also deploy QFD, quality function deployment. That means involving customers, and approach that integrates the voice of the customer into the both product and service design and development. It is known as the QFD, quality functions deployment. That means what the customers are thinking about your product. Incorporate their idea in your design, in your standardization process. That is important. This is about product design. We will also deliver one more lecture today. We have almost 1 hour left. So, do you have any questions on your